Hello everyone, this is MSY's Research Notes. Yesterday I have talked about the principal component analysis, and today I'll move to the next paragraph, paragraph 7. And paragraph 7 also followed paragraph 5 and paragraph 6, and this is the final study of the same data set. And this is also the final study focuses on the gender differences at item level. So female participants reported higher FLE and FLA, but this finding is inconsistent with some other research that has been conducted after this. And I think this part I've introduced in my previous videos. So gender as a variable is still a topic that deserves future studies. And paragraph 8 transits to a new study that is directly related to the present study, the one did by Professor De Waal in London School. And the present study used the same data set, but with different aims, absolutely with different aims compared with the previous study. So the paragraph 8 mainly introduced the correlation of FLE and FLA in that school, and also said the correlation between age, gender, and FLE, FLCA. So this paragraph hinted at the first part of the present study. And in the next paragraph, the author further talked about this study, but with a different focus. So in paragraph 9, the authors further introduced the associations between different variables and higher level of FLE and a lower level of FLA. And they were struck by the fact that FLA is much less related to teachers and teachers' practice. So it means that teachers themselves and their behaviors or their actions may have a less influence on students' FLA. So they concluded that teachers with that type of students needs to fuel learners' enthusiasm and enjoyment, and not worry about their FLA while creating a friendly, lower anxiety environment. Therefore, it is evident that paragraph 8 and paragraph 9 together introduced the previous study on which the present study is based. So this is just like a concluding part of the previous paragraphs, since it is about the most associated, since it is about the most related research with the present study, and based on paragraph 10, the next paragraph, we can know that the author will move to the dynamic feature of FLE. So this you can see as the conclusion of the previous one and the beginning of the next one. Therefore, the previous paragraphs serve as the theoretical background for the correlation between FLE and FLA and the influence of different variables, which mainly include teacher-centered variables and learner internal variables, or you can see the learner external variables. So after introducing all those things here, I mean, the first part of the literature review, the author, you can see they had a very, very clear purpose, and that is to introduce the correlation between FLA and FLE and also other variables which may have an impact on those dependent variables. So you can see that this first half of the literature review is very clear, has a very clear purpose, and I think it's very similar to the design of my own essay of my literature review part, because I need to firstly introduce the malleability of FLE, which means that FLE can be influenced by various variables, namely learner internal and external variables. And this is the first part of my literature review, because I need to tell the readers that FLE can be influenced by teachers, by atmosphere. So in my following paragraphs, in my methodologies, different sections of my essay, I can I can introduce like my PRTB, behavioral cluster to the readers. So I firstly need them to know that FLE is a kind of construct that can be influenced by teacher and atmosphere. Therefore, I can present like a pedagogical approach to theoretically improve or enhance students' FLE. So this is the first paragraph, the first part of my literature review, which is quite similar to the one here in this essay. But this essay also focused on the correlations between FLE and FLA. But in my essay, I didn't really focus on FLA. I only focused on FLE. So that is my essay, and I think I have learned a lot from the writing technique and the structure of this, the present essay that I'm discussing. And the paragraph 10, and the paragraph 10 is like the dynamics of FLE and FLCA. And this part, the dynamic or the or the changes, I think, not the fluctuations, because fluctuations is a kind of concept which you can tell from a microscopic level. So this is just like the changes of FLE, and the concept of dynamic here is quite different from the one that I used in my own essay. So I will then continue to introduce this part. So so what is like this kind of ideodynamic approach? The author introduced this essay in very detail. So and this part directly answers how was the experiment conducted. The ideodynamic experiment. So 10 Canadian English-speaking students with French as second language participated in the experiment, which consisted of a photograph description and 5 oral tasks. So this part, the author mainly introduced the procedure of this experiment. I think the author introduced this part in very details, and I'm not quite sure why he or she did so, or probably I think there aren't too many essays on the dynamic feature of FLE, so probably in order to make sure the balance of different sections of the literature review, the authors had to introduce this part in detail. Otherwise, this will be too short, which is not very, I think, good looking. So the procedure firstly begins with the participants bringing a photograph about something they found enjoyable, and they discuss the photograph for 3 to 5 minutes. And while they're talking, they are fitted with ECG electrodes, and then proceeded with the oral task. So what is ECG electrodes? ECG is the electrocardiogram. ECG electrocardiogram in Chinese is 心电图电极. So you can know from the word cardio, it means the heart. So ECG electrocardiogram. So ECG electrode is a kind of small sticky sensor that is placed on the skin to record the electrical activity of your heart. So the oral tasks were video recorded, and after the tasks, half of the students rated their level of FLE based on the video, and the other half rated the anxiety, also based on the video. So it means that they watched the video again and rate the level of FLE and FLA. It's just like they observe themselves in the video and review what they have experienced. So after rating, the data were transformed into a graph, and researchers and participants watched the graph together, and researchers inquired about the reasons for spikes or dips in the rating. So this process was transcribed and analyzed with the ideodynamic data in order to further their understanding of the relationship between these two variables at a moment-to-moment level. Then the results are listed almost in parallel, so I won't further introduce, the results of this ideodynamic research. So after introducing this, it is clear that paragraph 10 is all about the dynamic features of FLE and FLCA and emphasizes their moment-to-moment changes. Since the present study is about the dynamic interactions of FLA and FLE, it is necessary to introduce the theoretical background of this concept, which is the main content of this paragraph. So you can know that this is about the moment-to-moment changes in a short period of time of FLE, but this kind of change is very different from the one that the author want to discover or discuss in their present essay, because they followed a longitudinal design, even though it's a pseudo-longitudinal design. Their aim is not to discover the moment-to-moment changes or the immediate fluctuations of FLE, but they want to know how FLE changes in a relatively longer period of time across different age groups. So here the definition of dynamic need to be further clarified, I think. Wait a minute, the bell is goddamn ringing. All right, we shall continue because the bell was too noisy. So I think the definition of dynamic feature needs to be further clarified. And in my essay, I think in the literature review part, which I'm going to write about, is also about the dynamic feature of FLE. So I think I need to firstly define the dynamic feature. You can regard dynamic as a constantly changing construct over different age groups, and also you can perceive it as a kind of concept which is constantly fluctuating, even in seconds. So this is like the dynamic feature of FLE. We need to absolutely introduce the features or the precise or different definitions of this concept, and tell the readers which kind of the definition that I'm going to focus on. So this is a kind of reminder for my own essay. And paragraph 11 tells the crucial role of teachers and teachers' relationship to classroom atmosphere. But actually, I have to tell you the truth that I'm not quite sure why the authors put, teachers' relationship to classroom atmosphere here, because in my own opinion, probably I think this part can be attached at the end of paragraph 9, which is all about the correlations of FLA and FLE and also different variables, and their effects on those two dependent variables. So I'm not quite sure why the authors put teachers and atmosphere here after the dynamic feature of FLE. So I think probably in my own essay I'll follow a much clearer structure that I there is, let me think. There are only two keywords in the first part of my literature review, which is malleability and dynamic feature or dynamic nature of FLE. So I will firstly introduce how FLE is, or why FLE is a kind of malleable construct, and then why FLE is a kind of dynamic construct. And this is the first part of my literature review. And the second part is about the theoretical foundation for peer-relatable teaching behaviors. And that will be near-peer instructions, which is a theory, and also classroom dialogue theory. Now I cannot remember precisely the name, but the third is control value theory, which I'm pretty sure about the name. So you can see that I follow a very clear logic, and I introduce all the theories that I need to help readers understand the theoretical background and the legitimacy of my PRTB behaviors, or that kind of pedagogical approach. So I probably think that the author could have better arranged their structure, their literature review structure, and then I think it will be a much easier for readers like me, especially novice readers, to have a better understanding of this part. And tomorrow, I think I'll then move to paragraph 11, because today I'm going to pick up someone else at the subway station, so I have to go now, although it's not very late at night. So, and after this, I think I will further my essays, and I am now writing the literature review part. And after this part, I will send this to my tutor. And then I have already finished the Chinese version of methodology, or it's just like a proposal. And I will translate and further revise my expression in English and finish the methodology part. And the results part is, I think, relatively easier compared with other parts, because I have already got data. But now I'm still in the process of coding the interviews and also the audio-based foreign language enjoyment signals, which were also those signals which were also proposed by myself in this essay. So I'm still in the process of coding those signals, coding the interviews. So I only have half a month to present my overall essay to that competition, to the committee of the competition. So probably during this half a month, I would only spend like 15 to 20 minutes every day to record my research notes. And after this period, I'll spend more time on this because I know that after reading essays and sharing about my personal thoughts, I can notice that my writing ability has improved a lot, and also my oral speaking ability has also made much progress compared with only a week ago or half a month ago. So I'm very glad that I can see my progress, and I think I'm doing pretty well these days. And I need to, I'm sure that I can record videos every day and make sure to post on the YouTube every day. And if you have any questions or any suggestions, then then you can just contact with me, and I'm very glad to communicate with all of you. And this is the end of today, and this is MSY's Research Notes, and see you tomorrow. Good night.